This is Larry Poteet Jr. I'm your real estate agent as well as your financial planning consultant. If you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, it will be greatly appreciated. In today's video, we're focusing on saving for your down payment. This video applies more so for a first-time home buyer, but check this out. First and foremost, you must check out the video that I made for the 10 steps for the home ownership process. But in the meantime, in this video, one of the steps in that particular process is to speak to a loan officer. Once again, I am a real estate agent. I'm licensed in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and Tennessee. You must start the search to look for a real estate agent. And you found one right here, so I'm your guy. But when it comes to starting the process, you must start working with a real estate agent because that real estate agent is going to help you find a loan officer. And so that's step number one. As far as a loan officer, that loan officer is going to get you where you need to be financially. They're going to ask you for a couple of pieces of documentation, which is your tax return, bank statements, and pay stubs. And those are going to tell a story. Along with your credit score, it's going to tell you how much you can afford when it comes to purchasing a home, as well as it's going to tell you what it costs on a monthly basis. And this is the key to saving, because it's going to tell you, hey, you can afford a home and it's up to $1 million. So they're going to loan you up to $1 million for the purchase of a home. And at $1 million, your monthly payment is $4,000. These are just examples. It's not accurate numbers, but this is just an example. So at $4,000, that's going to be your monthly mortgage. And so let's say at this particular point, you're renting and your rent is $2,500. So that means there's a difference between $4,000 and $2,500. That difference is $1,500. And so the loan officer on paper is saying that you can afford up to $4,000 a month. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sit down with my real estate clients, i.e. I'm sitting down with you and we're going over your budget. We're seeing the money that's coming inside of the household and we're seeing the money that's going outside of the household. So we're making sure that $4,000 is within your budget. And so once we go over any car payments, any student loans, how much you're paying for groceries, gas, your utilities, as well as any other expenses, we're making sure that can fit within that budget. And if it can, what we're going to do is, as you're paying that $2,500, we're actually going to make a payment as if you're already making a payment for that mortgage. So we're actually going to pay $4,000. But what we're going to do is we're paying that rent for $2,500. That $1,500 difference, we're actually going to put that into a savings account. That's going to allow us to build up our savings very quickly. And so just imagine if you start working with me, we're able to strategically figure out what our plan of attack is. And so maybe we're able to purchase in 6 months. Maybe you want to purchase in a year. Just imagine saving $1,500 for 6 months. That's $9,000. We spread that out for a year, 12 months. That's what? That's $18,000. And so we have more than enough to move towards the steps that it takes in order to purchase a home. Because the assumption that I'm making is when you start to work with a loan officer, they're going to check and see the savings that you currently have. And so I'm going to check for that as well. So we're going to make sure you have everything that you need, savings wise, credit score wise, and documentation wise, that you have everything that you need to move forward. And so we have to make sure that you have an adequate amount of saving. Even if you're a first-time home buyer, we're going to find the money for you, but we don't make any guarantees that the money is there for you, because sometimes programs run out of money, situations happen. So we don't want to guarantee that there is money available. but we want to put you in the best position to make sure that money is available. But also, if there's a worst case scenario and you have to come out of pocket, you have an adequate amount of money for that. And if you don't need that money in your savings, guess what? You built up your savings. You have money for any repairs or any updates that you need to make, or any furnishings that you may want to have when you move into your new home. So I hope that makes sense. And this is a good way to incorporate your budget, because remember, your budget is the foundation of your financial plan. Finance is my background. So even being a real estate agent, that's my niche as far as being a real estate agent, but focusing on the financial side as well. Because what I'm going to do is I'm working three angles when it comes to my clients. I'm making sure that they can afford the home. I get them through the home transaction, and I help you keep your home. You're not just a transaction to me. I want to make sure that you're comfortable as you go through the home buying process. And so I hope that makes sense when it comes to saving. So whatever the difference is, whatever number that the loan officer comes up with as far as the affordability, we're going to make sure that we're saving the difference. And even if you're in a situation where you're staying with someone, you're staying with friends, you're staying with family, that's even better, because now you can save that entire amount if you're not paying any rent or you're not paying any expenses. Whatever is decided upon as far as what you need on a monthly basis, we're saving all of that, putting that into savings. So if you need to move in 3 months, 6 months, a year, all of that money is being banked and we can utilize it accordingly. We can use it for the transaction. We can use it for furnishings. We can use it for updates, upgrades, etc. And so that's the best way to save for a down payment. And remember too, when it comes to your budget, we're focused on each and every dollar that's in it. So if we have to sacrifice, if we have to cut back on going out to eat, if we have to focus on cutting back in various areas, we're going to do that as well, because your budget is going to make sure that it dictates your future financial decisions. And so if we have to sacrifice in this area to meet a goal, that's what we're going to do. That's what our budget is going to show us. Once we create a goal, we're going to be motivated by that goal, and we're going to make sure that we crush that goal. And so we have to make sure we're being disciplined. We're focusing on our goals that we put for our budget. We're going to make sure that we're consistently doing what it takes to get to that final goal. And then also we're going to be accountable. We're going to make sure that we're looking at our budget. We're doing whatever it needs to take to meet these goals. And we're going to have, whether it's my voice or somebody else's voice or even your own voice in your head, as far as, hey, maybe I shouldn't take this trip because I'm planning on buying that house in 6 months. Or I really don't need to buy 3 suits because maybe one will suffice, because I need to put myself in a position for that house or for that car or for that vacation. But since we're speaking on houses, that's what the focus is going to be. So if we slip up, hold yourself accountable. Make sure you have an accountability partner. And that's what I am to my clients. So if you need any assistance with budgeting, with saving, with purchasing a home, or even selling a home, feel free to reach out, contact me with the information that you see below. I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the future. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.